அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். தமிழ் பாரம்பரிய குடும்பத்தின் மாதாந்திர பேச்சு பொதுவாக ஒவ்வொரு மாதமும் முதல் சனிக்கிழமை அன்று மாலை இதே இடத்தில் 5:30 மணிக்கு தொடர்ந்து பல மாதங்களாக நடந்து வருகிறது. 5 ஆண்டுகள் முடிந்து 6வது ஆண்டில் இது 2வது பேச்சு. பொதுவாக முதல் வாரம் என்று சொன்னேன். இந்த முறை 2வது வாரம் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி நடப்பதற்கு ஒரு காரணம் இருக்கிறது. ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் ஜனவரி மாதத்தின் கடைசி வாரத்தில் சைட் செமினார் என்று ஒன்று தமிழ் பாரம்பரிய குடும்பத்தால் தொடர்ந்து கடந்த 5 ஆண்டுகளாக நடந்து வருகிறது. ஏதாவது ஒரு இடத்தை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு அதை பற்றி தீவிரமாக நன்கு ஆழமாக படித்து நிறைய எங்களுக்குள்ளேயே சில கருத்து மேடைகள் இருக்குமே அதை பற்றி பேசி அந்த துறை சார்ந்த நிபுணர்களை அழைத்து அவர்களிடமிருந்து கேட்டு தெரிந்து கொண்டு நேராக அந்த இடத்துக்கே சென்று அங்கேயும் இந்த நிபுணர்களை வரவழைத்து அந்த இடத்தை ஆழ்ந்து படிப்பதுதான் சைட் செமினார் என்பதன் நோக்கம். கடந்த 5 ஆண்டுகளில் நாங்கள் மகாபலிபுரத்தில் தொடங்கி அடுத்த முறை 2வது ஆண்டாக அஜந்தா எல்லோராவுக்கு சென்று 3வது ஆண்டு புதுக்கோட்டை மாவட்டத்தில் பல்வேறு நினைவு சின்னங்களை பார்த்த பிறகு 4ஆம் ஆண்டு ஸ்ரீரங்கம் என்னும் ஒரே ஒரு கோவிலை மட்டும் பார்த்துவிட்டு இந்த முறை ஒரு 10 நாட்களுக்கு முன்னால் குஜராத்தில் ஒரு 6-7 இடங்களை சுற்றி பார்த்து இருந்தோம். அது பற்றி நிச்சயமாக இன்னொரு செஷன்ல நாங்கள் என்னென்னலாம் பார்த்தோம் அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றி ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சியை நிச்சயமாக செய்வோம். மிகவும் சுருக்கமாக அங்கே படிக்கிணறுகள் ஸ்டெப் வெல் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய, அது நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டில் அது போன்ற ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரக்சரை நம்ம பார்த்துக்கவே மாட்டோம். இந்த படிக்கிணறுகள் பலவற்றை பார்த்தோம். அது ரொம்ப முக்கியமாக இந்த அசோக் கையில் ஒரு சின்ன போட்டோ புத்தகத்தை அவர் எடுத்த போட்டோ அப்படியே சுற்றிட்டு இருக்காரு. ராணிக்கு வாவ், ராணியின் படிக்கிணறு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஒரு குவீன்ஸ் ஸ்டெப் வெல் பாட்டன் அப்படிங்கிற இடத்துல பார்த்தது ஒரு ஹை பாயிண்ட். மோதேராவில் இருக்கக்கூடிய சூரிய கோவில், சிந்து சரஸ்வதி நாகரிகத்தின் 2 அகழ்வாய்விடங்கள் லோத்தல், தோலாவீரா, இது 2 பார்த்தோம். சம்பானேர், பாவ்கட் போன்று பல இடங்கள் இப்போ கிடுகிடுன்னு யோசிக்கிறது கூட இந்த நினைவு சின்னங்களை தவிர்த்து இந்த பட்டோலா புடவை நெய்கிற இடத்துக்கு போய் அதை பார்வையிட்டோம். தாவூதி போரா முஸ்லிம்களுடைய வீட்டு அமைப்பை பற்றி பார்வையிட்டோம். அங்கே ஒரு சர்ச்சைக்குரிய ஒரு கோவிலும் மசூதியும் சேர்ந்து இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு இடத்தை பார்த்தோம். இப்படி அங்கே ஒரு ரொம்ப சுவாரஸ்யமாக ராதன்பூர் என்ற இடத்துல ஒரு மகளிர் சுய உதவி குழு, உண்மையான நாங்கள் போனது சாப்பிட்றதுக்காக மட்டும்தான். ஆனால் அதோட கூட அங்கே டான்ஸ் ஆடுறதுலேருந்து எல்லாம் சேர்ந்துட்டோம். அதனால ரொம்ப ஒரு 5 நாட்கள் தான் இருந்தோம்னாலும் இன்னும் அங்கே ஒரு மாதத்துக்கு மேலே அந்த இடத்துல நேரம் செலவழித்த மாதிரி நிறைய மசூதிகளை பார்வையிட்டோம். அகமதாபாத் எங்களுடைய திட்டத்தில் இல்லை. அது இல்லாமல் சம்பானேர்லையும் சர்க்கேஸ் ரோசாங்கிற இடத்துலையும் இப்போ நாங்கள் ஒரு சில பேர் இன்னும் 1 நாள் அல்லது 2 நாள் இருந்து மிக முக்கியமான சில இடங்களை அகமதாபாத்லையும் பார்வையிட்டோம். ஸோ அதனால தான் ஒரு வாரம் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை தள்ளி வைக்க வேண்டியதாச்சு. பொதுவாக இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு தொடர்ந்து வருபவர்களுக்கு நாங்கள் என்னென்ன செய்யணும்னு தெரியும். ஸோ மாதாந்திர கூட்டம், ஆண்டுக்கு ஒரு முறை இந்த சைட் செமினார் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு விசிட், அதன் பிறகு பேச்சு கச்சேரி. ஒவ்வொரு டிசம்பர் மாதமும் இந்த மியூசிக் இசை கச்சேரிகள் நடக்கக்கூடிய அதே நேரத்தில் ஒரு 5 அல்லது 6 நாட்கள் ஏதாவது ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட துறையை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு அந்த துறையின் வல்லுநர்கள் கொடுக்கும் ஒரு பேச்சு கச்சேரிங்கிற ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சியை செய்திருக்கோம். கடந்த இப்போ நடந்து முடிந்த டிசம்பர்ல ஸ்ரீரங்கம் பற்றினது தான் அந்த பேச்சு கச்சேரியாக இருந்தது. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்தியாவின் ஓவிய பாரம்பரியம் தொடர்பான ஒரு பேச்சு கச்சேரி அதற்கு முதல் ஆண்டு நடந்தது. அதற்கு முதல் ஆண்டு ஒரு கலந்து கட்டி பல்வேறு விஷயங்கள், ஒரு லிட்ரேச்சர்லேருந்து ஆரம்பித்து கோவில் கட்டுக்கலை, சிற்பக்கலையிலிருந்து ஒரு நிகழ்த்து கலையாக ஒரு 5 விஷயங்களை பற்றின ஒரு சம்பவம், ஒரு நிகழ்வு நடந்தது. இந்த 3ஐ தவிர்த்து 4வதாக சிறு குழந்தைகளுக்கான ஒரு கோடை கால முகாம், அதுவும் ஒரு 3 ஆண்டுகளாக செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அது மே மாதம் நடக்கும். நீங்கள் இதை உங்கள் கேலண்டரை மார்க் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த காலம் மாறாமல் இதை தொடர்ந்து ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் செய்வது என்பது திட்டம். இன்றைக்கு புதிதாக வந்திருக்கிறவர்கள் எங்களுடைய தமிழ் பாரம்பரிய குடும்பத்தில் உறுப்பினர்னு சொல்றேனே தவிர அது ஒரு ஃபார்மல் மெக்கானிசம் கிடையாது. நீங்கள் எல்லாரும் சேரலாம், உங்களுடைய கருத்துக்களை சொல்லலாம், உங்களுடைய ஆலோசனைகளை கொடுக்கலாம், எந்த திசையில பயணிக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கான வழியை நீங்கள் எங்களுக்கு காண்பிக்கலாம். அடுத்தடுத்து என்னென்ன பேச்சுக்கள் யார் யார் இங்க பேசணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு பரிந்துரைகளை நீங்க கொடுக்கலாம். அடுத்த ஆண்டுகளில் சைட் செமினார்ங்கிறது எங்க நடக்கணும், அது எப்படி நடக்கணுங்கிறதுக்கான உங்களுடைய ஆலோசனைகளை எங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கலாம். நீங்கள் எங்களோட சேர்ந்து வரலாம் என்று சொல்லி இன்றைய நிகழ்வு என்ன பற்றியது, அதை கொடுக்க போகிறவர் யார், இது ரெண்டையும் அறிமுகப்படுத்துறதுக்கு மேஜர் நாராயணன் அவர்களை அழைக்கிறேன்.
English is supposed to be a very easy language. இன்னைக்கு இந்த ஸ்லைட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இங்கிலீஷ்ல இருக்கறனால நான் சின்னதா ஒரு அறிமுகவுடைய ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேசலாம். English ரொம்ப ஈஸியான லாங்குவேஜ் சொன்னேன். It has got far lot of phrases and words which are very easy. But two words stand out to be the most misunderstood words in English language. ரெண்டு வார்த்தை வந்து. One is love and one is hypnotism. That was correct. So two most mystical languages. Today, the myth or the secret behind the so-called hypnosis or hypnotism will be demystified by the speaker. Hypnosis is a language of suggestions. Like உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற language நீங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா German is known as the language of the verbs. Italian is the language of music. French is the language of love. English is the language of trade and commerce. Latin is the language of epics. Greek is the language of the gods. Sanskrit is the language of devotion. And Tamil is the language of beauty. Solite polam. There are particular languages. There is one language which deals only with the mind and suggestions, or rather suggestibility. That is hypnosis. There is one more language which deals with the language of the heart. That is called transactional analysis. How human beings transact. There is one more language which is called the language of, or the science of success and excellence in communication. This is called NLP. நான் முன்னாடி சொன்ன எல்லா லாங்குவேஜும் ஓரளவு நீங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும், கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. கடைசியாக சொன்ன 3 லாங்குவேஜ் உங்களுக்கு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்க மாட்டீங்க, or you would have less understood about it. Hypnosis, transaction analysis, NLP. The speaker of the day is a past master, or rather a seasoned veteran in all these 3 languages. He has been the president of the Hypnotic Circle of Chennai. Hypnotic Circle is the only circle or forum which has been out to disprove the myths behind hypnosis and teach the benefits of hypnosis to the larger audience. So he was the past president of Hypnotic Circle Chennai. He continues to be the president of Transactional Analysis Study Circle of Chennai. He also happens to be the one and only trainer who has trained thousands of people in the language called Neuro Linguistic Programming, NLP for short. He is also a past master in the realm of healing. He conducts specialized classes in 2 different subjects of healing. One is EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, or Emotional Freedom Therapy, EFT for short. And he also conducts programs on healing. Heal your life based on the teachings of Louis Hay. He has also been doubling as a trainer concerning vast area of human development, starting from sales, communication, assertiveness, and whatnot. Apart from that, he has been regularly updating his skills by attending any seminar which is there in these 3 areas. Besides, he has been a great motivator to people like us, and being in the helm of affairs in various circles, he has been training quite a lot of people for the past several years. You will be very delighted to know that the speaker is much younger than what he appears. I am not going to tell his age, that is, I leave it for you to guess. And the way he will tell you, he will demystify the myths and misconceptions behind hypnosis. People normally associate hypnosis with witchcraft, black magic, or mesmerism, which it is not. He will also lay the bare facts before all of you and tell you what hypnosis is and what hypnosis is not. He will also take you to the process of self-discovery, or he will take you to a trance, rather he entrances. The moment you cross his entrance, you are coming here only to get entranced. Very soon you will realize that the areas of ignorance in us is so vast, and today's talk or today's speaker will tell you what all we not been able to learn in the past so many years. ஒரு வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி இங்க மகேந்திரன் ஒருத்தர் வந்து பேசினாரு, ஆந்த்ரோபாலஜி பத்தி பேசினாரு. நமக்கு நிறைய விஷயம் தெரியுமே நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தோம். அவரோட ஒரே ஒரு லெக்சர் வந்துட்டு அந்த மித்து பஸ்ட் ஆயிடுது. ஒரு அழகான சப்ஜெக்ட் ஒண்ணுமே தெரியலையே, இதை பத்தி தெரியாம இவ்வளவு நாள் காலம் தாத்துட்டோம்னு ஒரு அறியாமல் விளிம்புல கொண்டு போய் விட்டார் மகேந்திரன். அதே போல this is also going to be yet another lecture wherein you will be treated to a wonderful world of hypnosis. தமிழ்ல அறிவியல் அப்படி சொல்லலாம், இல்லைன்னா ஆழ்நிலைன்னு சொல்லலாம், ஆர் சாதாரண வார்த்தைகள் நீங்க சொல்றதுன்னா ஹிப்னாசிஸ் ஆர் ஹிப்னாட்டிசம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். இந்த அறிவியல்ங்கிற வார்த்தையை பாயிண்ட் பண்ணுறது மறைமொழி அடிகள். ஸோ எவ்ரிதிங்ஸ் ஆர் நாட் நியூ டு ஹிப்னாசிஸ். ப்ராபப்லி நம்ம சமீப காலத்தில் people have not heard of the subject. Here the speaker who will be able to tell you the entire thing about hypnosis, and he will pack it in such a way that even for a layman can easily know and go to the depths of what is called hypnosis. I now call upon Mr. K. Aravantham. English ல வந்து அரவாமந்தம் சொல்வாங்க. தமிழ்ல நம்ம கண்ணன் சார் சொல்றதா இருந்தா ஆராவந்தம் ரொம்ப அழகான வார்த்தை. இது ஒரு அழகான சப்ஜெக்ட், ஒரு அழகானவர் எவ்வளவு அழகா படைக்க போறாருன்னு ஒரு 2 மணித்துளிகளை பார்க்கலாம். அவர் எப்போட நடுவில் நிறுத்தி கேட்கலாம். He will delight you with a lot of anecdotes, stories and his personal life examples about hypnosis. அவர் பண்ற ட்ரைனிங் ப்ரோக்ராம் தான் இப்போ பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. அவர் பண்ண போற ட்ரைனிங் ப்ரோக்ராமோட பேம்ப்ளெட்ஸ் வெளியில வச்சிருக்கோம். அவர் பண்ணிற நிறைய சீரீஸ் ஹிப்னாசிஸ் ஆகட்டும், லெக்சர் வெளியில கொடுத்ததும் அந்த சீரீஸ் வெளியில இருக்கு. ஹிப்னாட்டிக் சர்க்கிள் அவர் பிரசிடென்டா இருக்காருன்னு சொல்லிருக்கேன். தட் மீன்ஸ் எவ்ரி செகண்ட் சண்டே அட் ஹோட்டல் மாங்குளம், ஒவ்வொரு செகண்ட் சண்டேயும் for the past 40 years we've been meeting, and he has been the past president of the circle. In fact, people who are interested in hypnosis, who would like to go and take yourself to the next level of hypnosis, you are most welcome to join us tomorrow. Naaniki it happens to be the second Sunday, 2:29 the meeting starts, it finishes by 6 o'clock in the evening. We have a small break. Anybody who is interested in self development, they are most welcome. அது அங்கே நடக்க போகிறது. நாளைக்கு இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் நடக்க போகிறது. இன்னைக்கு ஹிப்னாசிஸ்னா என்ன, ஒரு பேசிக் இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் டு ஹிப்னாசிஸ் will be led with by Mr. K. Aravantham. I now invite Mr. Aravantham.
Good evening. Is it clear? Now, Major Narayan is a very good friend of mine, so we can give a lot of relevance to what he said about me. Okay, right. Is it okay for me to talk in English? It's okay? Right. Now, how many of you have got some idea about hypnosis? Anybody? How many of you got some idea about hypnosis, what it is and all? Okay, right. And how many of you have got a little bit of trepidation when you got that information that there is going to be a talk on hypnosis? There is some kind of a, what you call a kind of an attraction, at the same time a kind of a trepidation, some kind of a fear or something like that. Because especially ladies, I find at least 2 ladies raising their hands. So many times, when I am introduced to a group of people and like Narayan they say that he is the president of the hypnotic circle, many ladies would avoid looking at my eyes. You know what is the reason? So if they look at my eyes, they will be hypnotized, and they may have to part with their jewelry or something like that. Okay, so a lot of misapprehensions about hypnosis. Like Major Narayan said, this is one of the most misunderstood word in the English language. And see, basically when we talk about hypnotism or hypnosis or hypnotics, I'm not able to read from here. be better. Is it okay? Now volume is okay? Too loud? Now, one of the basic misunderstanding about hypnotism is that, or hypnosis is that, let us say that I am the hypnotist. The misunderstanding is that I have the power. The power in my eyes, the power in my face, or my personality, or the language that I use. However, the real fact is, the scientific fact is, there is no power in the hypnotist. The power to go into hypnosis or the hypnotic state is in the individual, the client or the patient or whom, whatever you call. If the power is in the individual and not in the hypnotist, there is no power in the hypnotist. He is only a facilitator. He only facilitates a person to go into the state of hypnosis. So the entire power is in. That's why look at the first slide. Go for the first slide. First slide. Raja. First one, the beginning. How many of you read that statement? All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. It is a we hypnotizing ourselves. So, if any one of you do not want to be hypnotized, no hypnotist in the world can hypnotize you. It's a very important thing to understand. If anybody is unwilling to be hypnotized, nobody will be able to hypnotize you. Okay? So that is one myth we need to overcome. That the power to go into hypnosis, the state of hypnosis is shown of us also. And the hypnotist controls the mind of the subject. As will at the end of this session, you will experience that even at the deepest state of hypnosis, the control is with the individual. So one of the major fears of people about hypnosis is that the hypnotist can hypnotize you and make you do whatever he wants you to do. Like, I can hypnotize one of you and then go and murder that fellow. Unfortunately, many Hollywood films, many Indian films, many serials, many fiction, they have been what you call subscribing this kind of thing and propagating this kind of idea. So people are filled with lots of misapprehensions about hypnosis. So the hypnotist cannot control you. You are in control. The individual is in control, is always in control. Even the deepest state of hypnosis, the individual is completely in control. You will experience it. Okay, the subject surrenders his will under hypnosis. Later on, when we talk about the history, very briefly I am going to trace the history of hypnosis, you will find that there was a decline of hypnosis at the advent of Christianity. All the Semitic religions like Christianity, Islam and Judaism, they believe in what we call in self-will, free will. That means that there is nothing that can influence me except my own free will. So when this became, the Christianity became popular, there was decline of hypnosis because there was the misapprehension that individuals surrender their will to somebody else. You don't. Nobody surrenders his will or her will to a hypnotist. Then another thing is, only weak-minded people are hypnotized, are hypnotizable. Intelligent people like us, strong-minded people like us cannot be hypnotized. It's exactly the opposite. It's exactly the opposite. It is very difficult for me to hypnotize anybody who has got a kind of a scattered mind, who cannot focus on any kind of thing. This kind of thing is very difficult to hypnotize that person. Whereas it is easy for me or any hypnotist to hypnotize a person who is intelligent, who has got a will, and who is stable in his mind. Because you need to focus. You need to focus upon what the hypnotist says to you. Unless you are able to do that, you won't be able to be hypnotized. Okay. Then the subject loses consciousness under hypnosis. One of the problems for people who do hypnosis or others, hypnotherapy, is that when we put them into hypnosis and then we bring them out, I don't think I was hypnotized because I was aware of everything. Yes, you will be aware of everything. So you don't lose consciousness. People think equated to a deep state of sleep or something like a samadhi state kind of thing, where they are totally oblivious of whatever happens around them. This is not true. You will be perfectly aware of what is going on about you, around you, yet it will be different. Okay? Then one of the greatest fears is that under hypnosis, the hypnotist will be able to ferret out all the secrets that they have got in him. Now, if that is so, every government in the world would appoint hypnotists so that all the black money can be earned. Or the husbands can go to the wife, to the hypnotist to find out how much their wives have stashed down their cash without their knowledge. Or the wives can go to the hypnotist to find out what are the shenanigans the husbands are doing. When they say that they claim that every day they are working very hard and then working very late in the office, they can find out the truth. No, it cannot. Even however proficient you are, if you are not willing to let out certain secrets, want to keep that secret, nobody will be able to make you to do that. Then the subject will remain hypnotic. And another fear is that suppose the hypnotist, I am going to do it at the end of the session, I am going to hypnotize you, and while you are in the trance state, so-called trance state, I go home. What will happen? Will I remain like that, like a zombie, the rest of my life? And believe me, this has been portrayed in films, in series. I did not see that series. About 25-30 years back, there was a Tamil series on one of the channels, wherein Revati, the actress, she was acting as a disturbed woman, and she goes to a doctor who knows hypnosis, and he hypnotizes her. And in hypnosis, there is one phenomenon called regression, that you can, in the state of hypnosis, you can go back in years and then remember what are all things that happened, which your conscious mind is not able to remember. So in that serial, the hypnotist, the doctor hypnotizes her, and he takes her back when she was 7 years old. And while she was in that 7 years old, living the memory of that 7-year-old girl, and sharing whatever the things that happened to her, he has a heart attack. He had a heart attack. He was admitted into the hospital. When the serial showed Revati remaining as a 7-year-old girl, total bunkum. If anything happens, after some time, you will come out. Naturally, you will come out of the state of hypnosis. Because one great fear is that, if I am not brought out, will I remain in that state? No. If you are very tired, if you need a rest, you will continue to be there for some time, then on your own you will come out. So these are some of the misapprehensions. Okay? Now very briefly I will tell the history of hypnosis, because the phenomena of hypnosis or the trance state is not new to any one of us. It has been there from time immemorial. The primitive people in all the ancient cultures in tribal areas, you know that the faith healers, the shamans, all these people are there. They were healing people. How do they do it? You find a number of people. They beat their drums and they do some chantings. All of them put into a rhythm. When you listen to anything in a rhythmic manner for quite some time, you go into a state of trance. That's how these people are able to. The faith healers, the shamans are able to heal people. So that is it. Then in India, we have what we call if you read Mahabharata and Ramayana, you will come across, somebody unleashed some Mohanastra or Vashikaranastra. What happens is that, when you have this Samonastra, they call it Samohana Vidya and Vashikarana Vidya, so you will find, if you go to the net, you will find a lot of people claiming to be what called tantric specialists. They will say that, we will teach you someone, you can So actually, in ancient mythological literature, there is mention about this kind of thing, where the whole battalion of soldiers are put into kind of trance state, and you know the kind of thing. Then in Egypt, they had what we call sleep temples. Okay. So this is from Wikipedia. It's called sleep temples. In ancient Egypt, what they used to do is that when people are sick and they are not able to be healed by traditional medicines, they are allowed to go into the temple and then they sleep in the temple for some time, and then maybe somebody healer will be there, and after some time when they come out of the temple, they are healed. They are going to stay in sleeping temples. Okay, and as I told you earlier, with the advent of Christianity, there was a kind of hypnosis, all these things were poo-pooed, and then people were not willing to talk about it kind of thing, the whole thing came to kind of a standstill. So we'll now go to the modern history, and that is some of you may be familiar with certain things. This name is very familiar to most of us, mesmerism. All of you heard about it? Mesmerism. Now, Franz Anton Mesmer was a German and mostly practiced initially in Austria. Now, what he believed, Mesmer, what he believed was that he believed that there is a magnetic fluid flowing around our body, human body, and any problem that we experience is because of an imbalance in that magnetic fluid. And so something the noise is able to balance that magnetic fluid, people get healed. So what he used to do was that, you will have a urn and a lot of magnets to put there, and the filaments will be jetting out of that, and he will ask people to touch that. And all the time he will be keeping on talking and talking and talking. So people touch that magnet and that filament are getting out of that urn containing magnets, and they go into what they call conversions. Later on, Freud called it catharsis. Catharsis means freeing all the suppressed emotions and impressions. So they go into conversions, and then they finish it, they are healed. And he became so popular. First he started with the one-to-one, then more people started coming in. He used to do it in his room. Then that was not enough. He used to go to the Maidan. Then at the time, he used to have hundreds and thousands of people. And all over Europe, he healed thousands of people. And he was a threat to the medical profession. So what happened was that he was investigated. And then King Louis XVI, he had a committee. And in the committee there were some very famous people. One of them was Benjamin Franklin. Another one was the person who invented a nice instrument called guillotine. They were in the committee. And they pronounced that this is Buncombe, he is cheating people, he is a charlatan, he is a hoax kind of thing. So he was driven out from country after country. And he died, broken hearted. Okay. Next. Now, this person, Albert Ferrier, how many have gone to Goa? Anybody remembers to have seen this statue? Anybody remembers to see that? You will find that next time when you go to Goa, see this statue. Albert Ferrier was a Portuguese, was a priest. What happened was that he was to give his first sermon, and he was so nervous, nothing came out. His father was in the audience, and from there he shouted at him in Portuguese, "Chop them like vegetables." The moment he heard it, suddenly he found a surge of energy, and he gave one of the most beautiful sermons. Then when he went back home, he started analyzing the phenomena, and then he found out that the power of suggestions. When we are able to give ourselves positive suggestions in a powerful manner, in an emotional state, it becomes so powerful, it can transform your personality. So then later on he went to Paris and then submitted his findings about also. So one of the major first persons to understand that there is no power in any of these things. The power of hypnosis is the power of suggestions. Okay? Right, next. Then James Bray, he was the person who investigated, was a doctor. These two were doctors. When Mesmer was being hounded and pillorized, these two doctors, they found out that the healings are genuine. And they wanted to investigate. And they found out along with the Albert Ferrier, that it is not the magnetic kind of things or magnetic fluid that is responsible for the healing, but it is the power of suggestions. Unfortunately, at that time, the medical profession did not look kindly at these kinds of things. So Dr. Lipson also, he was banned, his license was cancelled, He died broken hearted. He started his own clinic and then ultimately he died broken hearted. Then Dr. James S. Day, one of the outstanding figures. And he was a doctor in a government hospital in Hooghly near Calcutta. At that time, when he was there he came to India in 1845. When he came to India, at that time, there was no anesthesia, chemical anesthesia. In the book, it is recorded. It is not a fiction, it is not a hearsay, it is recorded that he did more than 300 major operations, including complicated abdominal operations, amputations, one case of double hernia, using hypnosis only without any anesthesia, because anesthesia was not available. So after this experience, because what he did was, he studied Mesmer, what he did was, and he came to know that the power of suggestions. So the power of suggestion, only thing is at that time, we took a lot of time, more than an hour, sometimes even 2 hours, to the suggestion, talking to the patients to put them into the state where they can experience anesthesia without chemical injections. So he was able to put them there and then did it. So when he went back to England, he was so enthusiastic about it, he started talking. Now, primarily started talking with a group of doctors. And remember I told you earlier, if you don't have faith in hypnosis, if you think that there is nothing like hypnosis and I cannot be hypnotized. So he tried with the doctors and they were not hypnotized. So he was not able to produce anesthesia in them. So they told that, oh, it is bunkum, it is false, all the claims are false, so his license was cancelled. So both he and Elliotson, they died broken hearted. Okay? Then later on, slowly they started accepting, people started demonstrating the efficacy of hypnosis. Some people were open-minded. And Milton Erickson, the giant in this field, Milton Erickson, he demonstrated to doctors, groups of doctors, that there is a variety in hypnotism, people can be hypnotized, and hypnotic phenomena can be obtained through hypnosis. And ultimately, in 1953, the British Medical Association admitted that hypnosis can be a valid therapeutic tool and doctors can practice in the profession. And 1958, the American Medical Association, 1958, they gave the sanction, the approval to hypnosis. And in 1958, Dr. Milton Erickson first started the American Institute of Clinical Hypnosis. Okay? Right. Any question? Any doubts, any concerns, any questions? Still any fear about hypnosis? Yes, sir.
The suggestion. This is the essential thing about hypnosis.
Yeah.
The same as the mantra.
It could be same as the mantra. See, mantra takes you to the state of trance. See, only thing is in the different, I don't want to tell you, see, many meditations, especially transcendental meditation, many of you may be familiar with the Yoga Nidra, hypnosis or self-hypnosis. All these things are very similar. They take you into that state of trance, what we call state of trance. Only thing is, the difference is that in hypnosis, once you are taken into state, what do you do? Like Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote a book, now our children, parenting, now that you got them, what are you going to do with them? So I put you into trance, then what? So hypnosis, we know that we can give you suggestions, and when suggestions are implanted in the subconscious mind, they started sprouting and taking effect in your life. That is a difference, slight difference between these things. In mantra, you go to a state of trance, and whatever experience comes to you. Here, no, you can deliberately choose to do certain things in order to overcome certain problems, certain blocks, and also realize the goals. At the end of the day, I will tell you how to do it. So these are some of the. This is the person, Rishi Kumar Pandya. He is our guru, our friend, philosopher who died in the last year, March. He was the first person to conduct a college credit course in Montreal, in John Lambert College, McGill University in Montreal, Canada. He was the first person to conduct a college credit course of hypnosis. So he used to come every year from Parlo and do 2-day and 3-day programs on hypnosis and therapeutic hypnosis. He is the person who introduced more or less the training of hypnosis, and many of us here were students of him. So this is his definition. Hypnosis is a psychophysiological altered state of consciousness induced by conditioning and skilled use of suggestions, and resulting in a lessening of subject's inhibitions and reasoning, and heightening of his ability to relax and his susceptibility to suggestions. Okay, I can go on explaining, but we will move on. Okay, the next one, Dave Ellman, he gave it in a very succinct form. He said that hypnosis is a state of mind in which the critical faculty of the human is bypassed and selective thinking is established. I will explain it a little bit. Now, many of us are familiar with this concept. We have got a mind, and the mind, there is a conscious mind, there is a subconscious mind. Okay? And in psychology they call unconscious mind, preconscious mind. For our purpose, we talk about subconscious mind and conscious mind. Which mind is more powerful? Which mind is more powerful? Subconscious mind. Okay. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? How do you say that subconscious is more powerful?
The reactivity is more.
Pardon?
The reactivity of the subconscious mind is much more
Okay.
than the conscious mind.
Okay.
It is able to sort of absorb everything whatever.
Okay, whatever comes to it absorbs kind of a thing. Okay. They say that it is more than, it's 9 times more powerful than the conscious mind. Now, the difference between the conscious mind and subconscious mind is this. The conscious mind, there are a lot of things going on in the conscious mind, and it is highly critical, evaluating, judgmental. It won't let anything so easy. For example, if somebody says, for example, in NLP say, all of us are potential genius. Now, how many of us will really believe that? Because our parents have said, you are an idiot. Our teachers have said that. Our bosses have said that. And we have told ourselves, we have swallowed it, and a innumerable number of times we have repeated to ourselves, like auto-suggestion, that I am an idiot. One young boy came to me, he said, within half an hour he told me, I am an idiot, sir. 4 times he told me. Now, your conscious mind will keep on saying this thing. However, the subconscious mind doesn't evaluate, doesn't judge. Whatever you give it, it accepts it unconditionally, no evaluation, no judgment, no question. So now, if I want to make it's a form of protest.
మిడిల్ రెండు నడువులో వచ్చింది.
So, what happens is that if I want to change anything in me, if you want to remove certain blocks, if you want to cultivate a new habit, a good habit, or leave out some bad habit, it is subconscious which is much more powerful. So now, doctor said, don't touch sweets. I said myself, I will not touch sweets. But the moment you know some jalebi or halwa is placed before that, what is it prompting me from go and without even thinking about it, just go do it. Because the subconscious mind is responsible for all our memories, all our habits, all our autonomic nervous system. It's subconscious that makes us heart to beat, our digestive system to work, all kinds of things. It's a subconscious mind. It's very, very powerful. If I can influence subconscious mind and make it to accept what I want it to accept, then I can make lots of changes and become lot of changes. The problem is the conscious mind. One of the outstanding success coaches in Canada, John Gio, used to say, your conscious mind is a great trickster. He calls it a great trickster. It always, it's an interferer. It's an interrupter. So, I need to do something in order to keep the conscious mind quiet, then only I can reach subconscious mind. So that is why he put it so beautifully. I to bypass the conscious mind and establish selective thinking in the subconscious mind. So if you want to program a subconscious mind, if you want to make any changes, you need to program the subconscious mind, because till now all the others world around us have programmed our subconscious mind. Right? Starting our parents, our religious people, our politicians, our economists, our newspapers, our channels, they all programmed our subconscious mind. There's so much of negativity. In fact, our research shows that on an average we think about 70 to 90,000 thoughts every day, out of which more than 70% are negative. Think about it. If on a day we think about these many thoughts and 70%, more than 70% negative, what kind of a life we will have? We are having. So how do we change that? Because everybody has been programming us, right from our parents. So we need to do something about it. In order to do that, I need to keep the conscious mind quiet. How do we do that? There are a number of ways of doing it. No? For example, in meditation, yoga nidra, all kinds of things. Hypnosis is one of the easiest, simplest ways which any one of us can learn. The tragedy is this: because of so much of misinformation about hypnosis, many of us don't make any effort to know what it is, learn it, and then use it. It's so simple. By the end of the day, you know that how simple it is to learn to use it for ourselves. If you want to do hypnotherapy on others to help them to overcome their problems, emotional, psychological problems, yes, we need training. We need to undergo what is hypnotherapy. You need to know it. But in order to use on ourselves for growth, it's such a simple thing to do that we are going to do. Now, what is happening? Now, what is the state of hypnosis? We call it state of hypnosis. What is the state? You know that if the EEG can measure what we call the electrical activity of the brain. Now, the bottom you will see that, forget what is written down, beta waves. Now, beta waves, different texts will give you different numbers, but more or less they are around it. It is anything about 14 to 40 cycles per second. So now, all of us now hopefully are in beta state, that means a waking state. Your brain waves are going like this, 14 to 40 cycles per second. Now, every day we go to sleep. When we go to sleep, we move into what we call the alpha state. The alpha state is what we call the 7 to 14 or 8 to 13 as mentioned here in this particular thing. And then we slip into what we call the theta state. That is about 4 to 7 cycles. And finally, the deep state of sleep, what in Sanskrit they call the Sushupti state of sleep, it is about 0.5 or 0.1 to 4 cycles. If it is 0, the doctor will give a certificate to your family members. That's what you will see in films and series, you know. Silence will shake like, okay. Hopefully we don't get into that for some time to come. Okay, now what happens is that we are now interested in alpha state. The alpha state also is called during the sleep cycle. What happens in a regular night of sleep? We go through the cycle. We start with the beta state before we go to sleep. Then move down to alpha and delta state. Then come back again, travel all the way up to alpha state, go back. Maybe depending upon the number of hours you sleep, there will be 3 or 4 cycles. Each cycle is roughly about 60 to 90 minutes. So on average, you may have 3 to 4 or 5 cycles. Fortunate people who sleep 10 hours and more, they may have more cycles. Okay. Today I had a call from Mangalore, one gentleman said, 70 years old, sir, I am not able, others are healthy, I am not able to sleep. Okay. So now, this alpha state is also called a REM state of sleep, where you dream also. Now, in hypnosis, meditation, shavasana and yoga, and yoga nidra, you normally go into alpha state. Now, you will find nowadays in newspapers, theta meditation, alpha kind of things. This alpha state was popularized in the world by one Silva mind control method, put a lot of research about alpha, Joseph Silva, a Mexican American. So he used to conduct the courses. And then people have caught on. This alpha state is a very, very desirable state. When on our own volition we go into the alpha state, what happens is that it is a very pleasant state where you are highly susceptible to suggestions, and it is a very relaxing state. And there, if you are implanting suggestions, it goes straight into the subconscious mind. So when you learn hypnosis, when you go into hypnotic state, what you do is your brain waves go into alpha state. That means the beta states the beta waves are very, very little negligible. So there are no interference. There are no interference or interruptions. So you can plan suggestions. So there are many ways in which you can go into the alpha state. That is the most very desirable state. Then you can go to theta state. There are most meditations that you can learn, they take you into alpha state. And there are some meditations, especially Zen meditation, which can take you into theta state also. But for our purpose, the alpha state is the most desired state, because then we can give suggestions, because that is what we call, like Major Narayana said, it is arituil. Arituil means it is not sleep, it is not a waking state. Is it an in-between state? No. In sleep it is an in-between state, but in hypnosis or meditation, it is something above these two. That means that your mind is concentrated. What happens when you are in hypnosis is that your mind is focused, your mind is concentrated without all the distractions. You are more focused. At the same time, you are very relaxed. So you experience both physical, like the earlier definition of Rishi Kumar Pandya, it's a psychophysiological phenomenon. That means that it has got an effect on your body as well as the mind. You go into a very deep, relaxed state which relaxes your body as well as the mind. So, one of the reasons that all of us can have in learning hypnosis is that just practicing it for every day 20 minutes, it puts us in a deep state of relaxation, and within a few days of practice you will be able to master it. And then when you practice on a day-to-day basis, you will find that throughout the day you have got a lot more energy, you are a much calmer person, your blood pressure comes down, your heartbeat comes down. It has got immense physiological health effects, health benefits also. That's the reason we do. And the second important reason that we can learn it for is that we can program our subconscious mind to achieve our goals, to change our habits, everything. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions? எப்படி ஜட்ஜ் பண்ணான்னு தெரியல. 15 மினிட்ஸ்னா சம்டைம்ஸ் இட் மே பி 15 மினிட்ஸ் தானே கொஞ்சம் லோவாக இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கும். அரை மணி நேரம்னா ஐயோ அரை மணியா அப்படின்னு தோணும். ஸோ ஐ திங்க் தே கம் டு கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ஐ ஐடியா. ஸோ யூ ஃபைண்ட் இட் transcendental meditation, they will say that morning and evening practice for 20 minutes. That's actually kind of an optimum kind of thing. Oh, that is why we say the 20 minutes. Not necessarily, you can do it, you can go and stay in the state for 5 minutes, or if you want to, you can do it for 1 hour also. Optimum is 20 minutes that we do. Normal 20 minutes we do.
This 20 minutes of hypnosis practice, does it require another person to hypnotize?
No sir, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. I will tell you how to do it on your own. It is a very simple thing, sir. Something like meditation, very simple thing. All it is, remember, what we need to remember is, it is a phenomena of suggestions. To suggestions, what we do it is that, remember, we have got a physical body, we have got a breathing system, we have got a mental activities. Now, what we can do is, when we relax our body, which we do it through hypnosis, we relax our body, automatically your breathing slows down, your thoughts come down. Okay? When you do pranayama, when you do what we call in the pranayama, the dirgha swasa, the lengthening the breath kind of thing, automatically you feel your body is relaxing, our mind is getting calm. And when you do meditation also, automatically you find that your breathing slows down. So they are interconnected. That's why in the energy we call it, the body and mind are one system. They are interconnected. Here what we do it is only through the relaxation of the body. Today we are going to experience is to relax the body. Just give suggestions to ourselves. And very simple. All we do it is close. I'll tell you how to do it on your own.
I have a two-part question. The first is based on your definition of hypnosis. You've said that the critical reasoning will come down and therefore suggestion
Bypass,
will go directly to the suggestive state.
Yeah.
Therefore, if there's a hypnotist who, once you're in alpha state, can suggest anything, correct?
Right.
So,
Good.
is there some way that either the person being hypnotized can see what goes in as suggestion, number one, or is it also there is a kind of a responsibility on the hypnotist to not suggest anything under the sun?
Okay, both. Now, very important thing is, remember I want to take back some of the slides that I have shown you. Even the deepest state of hypnosis, the subject is in control. That is, I am hypnotizing you, you are in control. I am not in control. You will do whatever it is pleasant for you, acceptable for you. The moment I suggest something that is contrary to your ethics, your morals, your values, you will reject the suggestion. Suppose I give you a suggestion that you give me your bus, or you give me whatever it is, or go and murder somebody, or do something that is inimical for your against your values or ethics or something like that, you will reject the suggestion, and sometimes you may also come out of the hypnosis state because you are in control. One Australian doctor who is an hypnotist, he experimented because they are all being recorded. He experimented. What he did was, he called the three call girls, and he hypnotized them, and then he brought them out to hypnosis. No problem at all. Then again he hypnotized them. Now I give you $200. You hypnotize all the three, and then you take off your clothes. They refused. As a profession, they may do it alone. But here, it is basically still, there is the value that I will not take off my clothes in the presence of a male or whatever it is. They refuse. So a number of experiments have been done. Tests have been done like this. Anytime we suggest something that is contrary to your values or ethics or morals or your self-interest. Similarly, for example, because remember you are aware. Suppose let us say that all of you, most of us are hypnotized. All of you go to deep state of hypnosis. I am going to do it. I will go to deep state of hypnosis. There's a fire. Immediately will come out of it and then safeguard yourself. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
In auto hypnotism, the process is suggestion. The suggestion is a product of mind.
Yeah.
So the same person, the hypnotizer himself suggests. Now the suggestion is a product of mind. The mind is not under control of the hypnotizer because all sorts of negative and positive thoughts come into the mind. It's not under control of the person. And you say we have to keep on give suggestions. The mind gives positive suggestion and negative suggestion also it can be taught. You do prayer and then you can counter-synthesize prayer. Or you can do so, talk about something and then the anti-aspect of that thing can also come from the mind. Now, how do you tackle the situation in the self-hypnotism when it comes from the origin of mind?
No, what happens is that when through suggestions you relax the body. In hypnosis, we relax the body. Okay? So when you relax the body, your mind slows down. That means the critical factor is not functioning that strongly. The beta waves are coming down. The conscious mind is being made calmer and calmer and calmer. So the subconscious mind is ready to receive the suggestion. That's the time. So with practice you will be able to do that. You will find that the thoughts slow down. It's like in meditation also. When you start practicing meditation, initially you find that the moment you sit about it, you get thousands of thoughts. But as you go along, as you keep practicing it, you will find that you are able to focus on whatever you wanted to meditate upon. Focus on more and more, longer and longer. And ultimately you are able to make more at least completely stable. So in spiritual literature, they say you kill the mind with the mind. That's what the Buddhists say. You kill the mind with the mind. Because when they start meditating, the mind that is meditating, ultimately the goal is to make the mind vanish. Okay? It is my ego that wants me to realize God. But it's the ego that starts making effort to realize God. But in the process, the ego is killed. So we kill the mind with the mind.
I don't know about hypnotism, but in transcendental meditation, you are sort of trained not to think.
Not to think.
Keep your mind at a very calm state. So when you are in such a state, is it possible for you to give suggestions to yourself because you are not expected to?
Okay. That's why when I am going to the last one, 6 steps to success, you will find that whatever suggestion you want to give, you say it aloud before you go to the state of hypnosis. Right? Don't bypass it. That third step is read it aloud 5 times before you go to state of yes, sir.
With due respect, everybody, I think we have the questions come to you at the end of your talk.
Anyway, but normally what happens? See, what happens is that if there is some doubt lingering in your mind, you may not be able to focus on what I am saying subsequently. That's when if something bothers you, then better you come out of that. Because basically it's a new thing, and there's a lot of kind of as I said earlier, misapprehension, misinformation about it. Questions? So what we'll do is I will give you the experience of hypnosis, and then I will tell you how to use this. 6 steps to success. Okay? Are you ready now? Comfortable? Okay. So then we'll come back to this later on. Okay. Now what I want you to do is that sit comfortably, both arms and legs uncrossed. Both arms and legs uncrossed. Put on all the things that is burden to you. Remember, I am fairly comfortable, so I won't take anything of yours. So you can put down all the things. If anything like you can take off your glasses if you want to. You are not going to see anything except inside. Take off your glasses. Anything like shoes or something like that, you can. And what's important here is both arms and legs uncrossed. Both arms and legs uncrossed. Okay. Right. And right. So for the next few minutes, all you need to do is to listen to my voice. And my voice will take you into deeper and deeper states of relaxation. Right. And please switch off your mobile phone or put it in a silent mode, not in a vibratory mode, because vibration will disturb you. So put it in a silent mode. Okay. Right. So keep both feet flat on the ground. If your feet is not able to reach the ground, it's no problem. Arms gently lying on your lap. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Deep into your lungs. And close your eyes. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Take another deep breath. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out all tension and stress. Take another deep breath, deep and slow into your abdomen. Breathing in peace and calmness and breathing out all worries, concerns. For the next few minutes, all we need to do is to listen to my voice. And my voice will take you to deeper and deeper states of relaxation. All the external sounds and disturbances fade far, far away. Nothing will disturb you. And even the sounds of the fans running, the whirring sound of the fans, only goes to prove to you that everything around you is safe and normal. And when you become aware of these sounds, it will only deepen your relaxation.
The muscles of your face are relaxed. Imagine the rhythmic sound of the breathing rhymes with your heartbeat, and everything around you in you is slowing down. And now imagine all the muscles of your forehead, jaws, cheeks, chin, the tiny muscles around your eyes, nose, mouth. All these muscles are gently, softly, smoothly relaxed. Imagine this relaxation is moving to the top of your head. Relax your scalp muscles, going down the back of your neck, front of your neck, relaxing all these muscles. This relaxation is not going inside your throat. Relaxing your throat muscles, vocal cords, and all the speech muscles. And as you continue to relax your head, neck, and throat muscles, you may allow your head to gently tilt down towards your chest, relaxing all the way down. You are breathing deeply and slowly. Every breath that you take relaxes your chest muscles and the muscles of your heart and lungs, causing them to work in a rhythmic, healthy manner. Your abdominal muscles are relaxing now. All the muscles of your abdomen, the organs inside your abdominal cavity are beautifully relaxing, causing them to work in a rhythmic manner. Your shoulders are relaxing now. This relaxation is now going down, down, down your right and left arms, relaxing your upper arms, gently flowing to your elbows, flowing down your forearms, relaxing your wrists, hands, back of your hands, palms, fingers, even the fingertips. Both your right and the left arms, from your shoulders to your fingertips, are completely relaxed. The muscles of your back are relaxed now. All the big and small muscles in your back are completely relaxed. This beautiful, peaceful relaxation is now going down, 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 way down your entire body, relaxing your thighs, thigh muscles, flowing down to your calf muscles, relaxing your calf muscles, ankles, feet, toes, even the soles of your feet. Your whole body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes is totally, completely and thoroughly relaxed. Every muscle and nerve of your body and mind, each and every part and portion of your body and mind, each and every drop of your blood and mind, each and every cell of your body and mind is completely filled and enveloped with this wonderful state of total relaxation. Every minute that passes, every breath that you take, your relaxation is getting deeper, 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 deeper. While you are in this deeper state of relaxation, I am going to give you a few positive suggestions for your benefit. Day by day, every way, you are getting better, better and better. Day by day, every way, you are getting better, better and better. Day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment, you are getting healthier, wealthier and more successful. Day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment, you are getting healthier, wealthier and more successful. You are increasingly becoming a more loving, lovable and a loved person. You are increasingly becoming a more loving, lovable and loved person. You are taking care of yourself by eating right, exercising regularly and resting and relaxing appropriately. You are taking care of yourself by eating right, exercising regularly and resting and relaxing appropriately. You are relating well with all significant people in your life. You are relating well in all significant people in your life. In a moment I am going to stop talking to you and I will give you a few moments of silence. During this period of silence, just drift off into your own world of imagination and imagine yourself, visualize yourself as in a TV screen or a movie screen. See yourself as a very healthy, vibrantly healthy, active, fit person. See yourself as a joyous, happy, successful person. See yourself as a very loving and lovable and lovely person. See yourself setting goals and achieving all worthwhile goals in your life. And as you do this visualization and imagination, you will continue to go even deeper into your relaxation and enjoy this process of relaxation. I'll stop talking to you and I'll talk to you again after a few moments. The period of silence starts now. Deeply relax. Very, very deeply relax. Every time you practice this art of relaxation, you will go into even deeper states of relaxation, deeper than ever before. You will find it very easy to learn and master this art of relaxation. And within a few days, you will master this art of relaxation, and you will be able to go into even deeper states of relaxation without my help or anybody's help. In a moment, I am going to count from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you will wake up feeling refreshed, relaxed, and wonderful, having enjoyed this period of relaxation. 1, you feel so good and comfortable. 2, you are about to open your eyes. And 3, you open your eyes, alert, awake, wide awake, and feeling great. That's it. So, was it difficult? Do you need an expert, Stanford University, Harvard University graduation to do this thing on yourself? Okay, questions, comments, and observations. Yes, sir. Just like sleeping. What did you sleep? But you were not able to focus on what I was telling. Okay. But you woke up when I asked you to wake up. That means you were not sleeping.
But somebody has to say this.
I will tell you how to practice it on your own. There may be CDs available also, but there's no need. You can put. See, if possible, we can send you what you call write how to do it on your own. All you need to do is how to practice on your own. All you do it is that the best way to learn to practice is lying down. Okay? So lie down. Make sure that you are not disturbed. Tell your family members what you are doing. Otherwise, your child may come and say, Mama, Mama, what something has happened to Daddy, something like that. Don't scare them. So tell them what you are doing, and ask them not to disturb you for 20 minutes. Okay? Now, important thing is this initial stages, whether you are able to go experience the relaxation or not, just keep practicing it. Because what we call conditioning. You need to get conditioned. So after a few days, depending upon your own psychological makeup, few days you will be able to go into one certain day you will find out that you go able to take a deep state of relaxation. So what you do, lie down, preferably on the floor, arms and legs uncrossed, arms by your side. Like many of you would have learned Savasana. It's very similar to Savasana. So then take a deep breath, 2 or 3 deep and slow breaths, close your eyes and mentally talk to yourself. You know the parts of your body, it starts from here or there. So the muscles of my face are relaxing. Only thing is, even in your internal voice, slow it down, put the volume down, and do it in a monotonous way. The muscles of my face are relaxed. The muscles of my neck are relaxed. So mentally keep doing it.
at the end of it. And then finally, suppose you have got a fear that you might have forgotten some part that you will get, affronted. Every muscle and nerve and part of my body is totally, completely relaxed. Stay in that. And whatever position you can do later on, after some time, you can start giving such. Let me tell you how to do that. It's a very simple thing to practice. Hypnotist, I will come and hypnotize you, take 5,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, which you can do it in your body. Children, see, my nephew was studying here with his grandparents. His parents were in Dubai. I did this same thing that I did to you. Same night he did it with his mother, and his mother went into deep state of relaxation. What is the difficulty there? What is the difficulty? All they say, the muscles of my face are relaxed. So many things in life are simple, sir. Professionals like us make it complicated. So that we can learn, earn money, doing. Yes, sir. Pardon? Background, below 12 years is not that. How many of you got children below 12 years? Okay. You must be very careful what you talk. You must be extremely careful what you talk to them. The education psychologists say on an average day, 90% of parents' communication is negative. No, don't, you are wrong. 90%. The brain waves. After that. Okay. See, what happens is that children below 20 years, most of the time they are in what we call theta state. Alpha and theta state. Now, this is what we call distraction, which is more important. My talking or they will get to that. Now, most of the time, children up to 12 years, they are in the theta state, very highly suggestible state. So they are very easily hypnotizable. Only you have to talk in their language. So if they are easily hypnotizable, we can do that. More they are able to understand the language, then we can take it. And they go very deep. Yes, sir.
What exactly are you supposed to make a mistake?
Is it?
If I comes to a mistake, how do you correct? What's the right way of correcting?
Sir, you are asking me to conduct a parenting class. Anyway, I will do that now. So, do you have the time to correct it, sir? Do you have time? Okay. Because most of us have got the excuse, I don't have time for all these things, to practice all kind of things. Just talk to him. What happened? What did he do? And ask him also. Make him to think. Make him to think. What did he do? Is it okay for him to do that? Start talking to him. I have practiced it with my son, even grown-up son, when I was doing his MC. Talk to him. What did you do? Remember, you have to part in DA, we call it an adult tonality, not in an authoritative voice. But as a matter of fact, what happened? What did you do? What happened to do? And many times they may be justified in doing whatever they do. It needs patience and time. Any other question? Yes, sir. 5 suggestions. I'll come to that. On the same topic. And you have to repeat it 5 times. I will come to that. I will just very quickly go through that process. This is given to us by our Guru Rishi Kumar Pandya, 6 steps to success. How to utilize it? How to use it for programming a subconscious mind for our growth? Yes, sir.
Can we go into a fast life also?
Oh, yes. But you won't be able to do it on your own. You need an expert. Paying 3,000 to 5,000. Why do you want that? I can do it. As a matter of principle, I don't do it. Past life regression. I do it unless it is needed. Any other question? So, shall we move on to the 6 steps of success? All of you know that how you can practice or not. It's a very simple process. Lie down, make sure that you are not disturbed for 20 minutes, take some deep breaths, and then just mentally talk to yourself. Muscles are relaxed, and imagine they are relaxing. You will find that sooner or later you will relax beautifully. What they call the buzzword, no? Not a rocket science. Yes, sir.
It's a clarification.
Yes, sir.
When you're trying to not use the mind,
Huh?
when you're trying to not use the mind, how do you say 1, 2, 3 and come out, because that's a mental activity?
Okay, see, what you can do it is, you can give yourself a suggestion to you before you go to this. That at the end of the 20 minutes, I will wake up. Then you see, for me, today, when some years back I used to travel in bus, I was holding like this, only this portion, and I go to hypnosis. And exactly, today, when I do it on my own, exactly 20 minutes automatically I will wake up. See, the reason you give the 1, 2, 3 is because, let us say, like you would have experienced, all of us would have experienced, you are in deep sleep. Suddenly something wakes up, you wake up. You get a disorientation, you want to avoid it. Sometimes it may kind of a physical shock, mental shock also. Not make the transition, but you can make the transition in a matter of seconds. All you need to do is repeat it. That's why you have to memorize it. So you don't think about what I need to say. In a moment I am going to count 1, 2, 3. At the count of 3 I will wake up feeling very relaxed. 1, 2, 3, you will come out. No problem.
This is happening daily, So when you want to get up in the afternoon, you want to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put the alarm. And after 2 or 3 days, automatically, exactly by 5 I take.
That is the power of the subconscious mind. It's not your conscious mind. What happens is that you can try that, sir. Tomorrow, let us say tomorrow you want to get up at 5 o'clock. Use your conscious mind. I want to get up at 5 o'clock. You will find that many times you will wake up at 2 o'clock, you wake up at 3 o'clock, you will get up at 4 o'clock, then you wake up at 7 o'clock. That's what I'm saying. This is conscious mind. But you will trust it. Children do it wonderfully, sir. Children are naturally hypnotists. They do it wonderfully. My son, it's very difficult. It was very difficult when he was very born, very difficult to wake him up. On Deepavali day, 2:30 he will wake up and disturb everyone. 2:30. On school day, you have to ulkufy him. 7 o'clock you need to do that. On Deepavali day, or any picnic, school picnic, 5 o'clock, yes, he was there at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock he will wake up. No alarm, nothing. That is the power of subconscious mind.
It is programming the mind, isn't it?
Programming the subconscious mind. It's also your mind. It's also your mind, sir, not my mind. So you get the program your mind. Yes, sir. Now when you experience it. With practice you will be able. Because remember this thing, program the subconscious mind. When we repeat the suggestions, we are using words. Pictures are 10,000 times more powerful than that's why visualization is very powerful. Today, almost every athlete worldwide, they are practicing this thing. Two of the greatest practitioners were Vivian Richards and Edwin Moses. Anybody remember who Edwin Moses was? The greatest hurdler. For 10 years, unground he won every hurdles race. They are the greatest practitioners of Vivian Richards. And most athletes are taught. You mental coach kind of thing, psychological coach, they teach this thing. Visualization is very, very important. Years back there was Los Angeles Olympics. Gregory Louganis, what is his name? Diving. So when he second or third dive, he got injured. There was blood. And he refused to be anesthetized. They did the stitching without giving anesthesia. because he wanted to make his mind very clear. And if you closely observe, before the final time, what they do is with practice. If you shift your eyes like this, we go into alpha state. And that's it, very quickly you will, because they have been doing this visualization hundreds and thousands of times. In fact, our friend Vishnukumar Pandya, he was in Canada. He trained 2 athletes. One was a boxing champion. He became a Canadian champion, and then he trained one Olympic diver, a young girl. Now what they do was that when they have to do certain diving, even the small part of your body, like how the fingers are situated, how they are kept, they make an impact on that kind of thing. And he made it, and that was filmed by the Canadian Film Board. The film is there still in Canada. So they do only by visualization. So that you will be able to, with practice you will be able to do that. Okay, move on. The final part, the last one, the 6 steps to success. Okay, how to, you can remember there are 2 utilizations of this state of hypnosis. One, just for relaxation. Every day practicing it, you go to a deep state of relaxation. That will keep you the whole day calm and quiet, that kind of thing. Then you can program your subconscious for your personal growth. So how to do it? Select a short-term personal practical goal. For example, there are students here. Let's say I want to improve my concentration in studies. So what to do is, that's the goal. I want to improve my concentration in studies. Okay, then write down 5 past, like for example, memory. I got a good memory. I got a fantastic memory. I remember names and so write down 5 suggestions on that. And then before going to hypnosis, read each suggestion aloud 5 times. Now when you read aloud, my memory is good. If you do that now, do you think it will have effect? Well, body language says I don't believe that. So you have to say it with a lot of conviction and emotion. My memory is good. I got a fantastic memory. You can use your body language, everything, voice tone, everything. I got a fantastic memory. I'm able to remember the names and faces I come across or whatever I read. So write down 5, it will be very short, not very long, like Macaulay sentences. Then go into hypnosis. Then after going to hypnosis, just visualize. Just visualize the end result. And then come out of hypnosis. That's it. So, unless you have got questions, you can say thank you. Yes, sir. What's it? What's the question? Like memory or concentration. Or I am a calmer person. Let us say I want to become a calm person. I am a short-tempered, I want to become a calm person. So I say I give the repetition of the suggestion. I am a calm person. I stay calm even when I am provoked. Whatever it is, give suggestions. Then I visualize, So normally in the circumstances in which I would allow my temper to come out. It couldn't happen. Or let us say I tell my son to do something he does not do, I end the plan. So I ask my son and I see that I see myself smiling, speaking in a calm voice, staying calm, relaxed. That's it. Pardon? No, when you practice it, initially you practice it like that. Afterwards you can practice it safe. You must be able to getting off the, because many times you waste a lot of time, like you travel in a flight or a train or something like that. As well you can utilize it. But easy to learn when you do it like that.
I want some more explanation of
What is it that you want, sir? Visualization, imagining. Imagining as if you have achieved your goal. Let us say that I want to reduce my weight, I want to have flat stomach. So I see myself flat stomach. Or I am standing on the weighing machine, I see the weight, which is the say the weight that I want to have. And I imagine myself, see myself standing on the weighing machine, and the weighing machine shows it is so much of pounds or kilograms. That's what it shows.
Unless it's necessary, one does not
Unless
It was necessary. You said you won't use regression.
no.
What are the cases that you would use regression?
Normally, I have used it in stammering cases. People who have stammering. We have found out, even though today the doctors say differently, our experience is more than 97% of stammering are psychological knowledge. Only less than 3% is physiological. So, and usually nobody is born a stammerer. They pick up the stammering habit between third when they start talking, and it could be heard for many reasons. Many things could trigger the stammering. So, when they recognize it and then find out. So, in such case, or a man or a woman have got difficulty in marriage, they would have some kind of experience. That case, regression and give them counter positive suggestions. And then, nice.
Just a question connected to this. Can phobias be addressed with this?
Yes. Phobias can be addressed. Many psychological problems can be addressed. NLP took lots of things from hypnosis and simplified it. Like phobia. Milton Erickson used to take an hour and a half or 2 sessions to kill phobia. In hypnosis, in NLP, 10 minutes. We take it. Yes, sir.
Here's the history, right from the means of the 80% that we use about the shamans and all. Are there works of that type?
Are there?
Works, literature?
No.
There are no. But Hindu literature have you seen? Because I have to confess, right from the beginning, when you started this, I had a sense of deja vu.
Okay, right now.
Right in the beginning when you said,
Right.
if they look like a something wrong. When you asked, what do you mean by this? Do you mean by this? Raise your hand. I knew that all that suggestion, I'm going to make a guide in India, getting in the mind of other people, things are not there. But then all these terms and terminologies we used to know. If you trace at the modern one, I have heard it as a boy, amongst scholars. I had a good fortune of having other people, and to advise on the board discussing on research. It looks as though the whole body of this terms and terminologies the same terms and terminologies it's about the suggestion, about the repetition, about the japa, the japa, in Sanjapana, the rules, the way they are described, scientifically, so on their works, I have read some of them, but without
பாலு சார் சாரி பாலு சார் நீங்கள் சொன்னது வந்து பாதி பேருக்கு எதுவுமே கேட்டிருக்காது. இது ரொம்ப லாங்காகவே இருந்தது. மைக் இருந்ததுன்னா பெட்டராக இருந்திருக்கும். மேபி இவரு நீங்கள் அப்புறமா இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
அந்த ஸ்டீவ் டெம்பிள் சொன்னீங்க. ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ ஆர் ஃபெமிலியர் வித் லார்ட் ஆஃப் தி ரிங்ஸ் ஆதர் Tolkien. In 1921 he honored that Steve Temple. So கொஞ்சம் லிட்டரேச்சர் விக்கிபீடியா போனால் சில லிட்டரேச்சர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு.
Can we, this is the last question please.
Yes sir.
The state of samadhi. People say that they don't even have any injury. Any external injury also is not better.
Yeah, in hypnosis also anesthesia can be done.
You said that you are always conscious of what is happening around.
Yeah.
In case of hypnosis.
Yeah.
In case of samadhi, they are not aware of what is going on.
No, there are different kinds of samadhi, sir. Sagaja samadhi, Sagaja Nirvikalpa samadhi. So Ramana Maharshi has been in all the 24 hours he was in Sagaja Nirvikalpa samadhi. He was everything, but he was in the samadhi state. That is too high for us even to complicate. So the samadhi that are see in Sanskrit literature you find Jadavat, Unmatavat, Pisasavat, and then so there are a lot of stages in samadhi also.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arun. That was a very delightful speech and that was a delightful introduction to hypnosis. And all the good men here, thanks to your suggestion, I hope will come back as better men. Thank you very much.
People who would like to know more about hypnosis,
சரியா இல்லை அது மிடில்
you would like to know more about hypnosis, or would like to take your level of hypnosis to the next stage, you're most welcome to join tomorrow at 2:30 at Hotel Palm Grove. 2:30 to 6, Hypnotic Circle conducts meeting. Every second Sunday we meet. 2:30 to 6 tomorrow, Hotel Palm Grove, second floor 1. Secondly, there's a foundation called Radha Foundation, which organizes temple tours. Coming Saturday and Sunday, that is 16th and 17th, Saturday and Sunday, is organizing a tour of 4 great living Chola monuments. Big Temple, Gangaikonda Solapuram, Dharasam, Tirubonam, and Tiruvadai Marudur, and a few temples en route also. Those are interested, you can just drop your mail ID there. The detailed mail will be sent to you, and if you are interested, you are most welcome to join. Hence, you can just forward the mails also. People are there, they have come from Radham, they are specialists in organizing temple tours. It is only on cost sharing basis. No profit is involved. A determined and passionate group of people are students of architecture. They come together and every month they will organize such tours. And we also been, it's a healthy state of osmosis. We've been sending people there and people, members from Radham also come and attend our heritage program. Those who are interested, you can just give your numbers or your mail ID to them and then we can take things forward.
Next month lecture email அனுப்பிடுறோம்.
Next month, we always have a first Saturday, 5:30 to 7, the same place. This month was an exception because last week we had been to Gujarat on a site seminar. So we will like to meet all of you next Saturday, first Saturday of every month, 5:30 the same place. Thank you.